the mysterious rain. It was a dark and stormy night, and the rain was pouring down in sheets. The sound of the rain hitting the windows and roof was so loud that it was difficult to hear anything else. As the night wore on, the rain became heavier and more intense. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning, illuminating the sky and causing the power to go out. As if on cue, the rain started to change. It was no longer just water falling from the sky. It was thick and dark, almost like a sludge, and it seemed to be alive. People started to panic as the rain continued to pour down. They could hear strange noises coming from outside, like the sound of something moving through the thick, viscous liquid. One by one, people started to disappear. They would step outside to investigate, and then they were never seen again. The rain seemed to be consuming them, drawing them in and swallowing them whole. As the night wore on, the rain grew even more intense. The streets were now filled with the thick, dark liquid, and it was impossible to tell where it was coming from. Those who were left huddled together, trying to stay safe from the mysterious rain. They could hear the sound of something moving in the distance, getting closer and closer. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the darkness. It was covered in the thick, black rain, and its eyes glowed in the darkness. It reached out with its long, spindly fingers and dragged one of the people away, into the darkness. The remaining survivors knew they had to escape, and they ran for their lives through the rain-filled streets. They could feel the rain reaching out for them, trying to pull them in and consume them. Finally, they saw a light in the distance, and they ran towards it as fast as they could. As they got closer, they realized it was a small cabin, and they burst through the door, slamming it shut behind them. They were safe for now, but they could still hear the sound of the mysterious rain outside. They huddled together, praying that it would end soon, and that they would survive until morning. The survivors sat huddled together in the small cabin, listening to the rain falling outside. They were safe for the moment, but they knew that they couldn't stay there forever. They needed to find a way out, to escape the mysterious rain that was consuming everything in its path. As they sat there, trying to come up with a plan, they heard a sound outside. It was a tapping, almost like someone was knocking on the door. They all froze, unsure of what to do. "Who is it?" one of them called out. There was no answer, just the sound of the rain falling outside. They could see the figure of someone standing in the darkness, but it was too far away to make out any details. "Maybe it's someone who needs our help," another survivor said, getting up and heading towards the door. But before he could reach it, the figure disappeared into the darkness. They heard a strange whistling sound, and then the tapping started up again. "It's not safe," one of them said, grabbing the other survivor and pulling him back. "We don't know who or what is out there." They sat there in silence for a while, waiting for the tapping to stop. Eventually, it did, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. "We need to get out of here," one of them said. "We can't stay cooped up in this cabin forever." But they didn't know where to go. The rain was everywhere, and they didn't know how to get through it. "We need to find a way to stop the rain," another survivor said. "We need to figure out what's causing it." They all agreed, but they didn't know where to start. They decided to split up and search the cabin for anything that might help them. As they searched, they found a journal that belonged to the previous occupants of the cabin. It contained information about the area and the strange weather patterns that had been occurring over the past few months. According to the journal, there had been reports of strange rainstorms that were different from anything that had ever been seen before. The rain was thicker and darker, and it seemed to be alive, moving in strange patterns and consuming everything in its path. The journal also contained a map of the area, with a location marked as the source of the mysterious rain. It was a few miles away, in a remote part of the forest. "We have to go there," one of them said, pointing to the location on the map. "We have to find out what's causing this and put a stop to it." They all agreed, and they set out into the rain-filled forest, armed with whatever they could find in the cabin. As they walked, they could feel the rain trying to pull them in, to consume them like it had consumed so many others. They struggled to keep moving forward, to fight against the strange force that was trying to stop them. Eventually, they reached the location marked on the map. It was a clearing in the forest, where a strange machine was set up. It looked like some kind of weather control device, with wires and pipes running in and out of it. As they approached the machine, they could feel the rain getting even thicker and darker. They could see figures moving in the darkness, like shadows in the rain. "We have to destroy the machine," one of them said. "That's the only way to stop the rain." They all agreed, and they started to attack the machine, tearing at the wires and trying to pull it apart. But the rain was too strong, and it seemed to be protecting the machine, lashing out at them with tendrils of black liquid. They fought on, determined to destroy the machine and put a stop to the rain. But as they fought, they started to realize that something was wrong. The rain seemed to be getting even stronger, and the figures in the darkness were getting closer. Suddenly, one of the survivors screamed. They had been pulled into the rain, consumed by its dark liquid. The others tried to help, but it was too late. The survivor was gone, consumed by the mysterious rain. Panic set in as the survivors realized that they were all in danger. They fought desperately to escape, but the rain was everywhere, pulling them in and consuming them one by one. As they fought for their lives, they could see the figures in the darkness getting closer. They were humanoid, but they were covered in the same dark liquid as the rain. Their eyes glowed with an eerie light, and their movements were unnatural and jerky. The survivors realized with horror that these creatures were controlling the rain, using it as a weapon to consume everything in their path. They had to stop them, but they didn't know how. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, one of the survivors had an idea. They remembered a legend about a powerful artifact that could control the elements, something that had been lost for centuries. They didn't know if it was true or not, but they had to try. They set out into the rain, fighting against the consuming liquid as they searched for the artifact. After what felt like hours, they found it. It was an ancient amulet, glowing with a powerful energy. They knew what they had to do. They put the amulet on and focused all their energy on controlling the rain, the mysterious rain. At first, nothing happened, but then they felt a surge of power, as if they were one with the rain itself. They commanded the rain to stop, to dissipate, to leave them alone. To their surprise, the rain obeyed. It started to recede, to dissipate into nothingness. The creatures in the darkness screamed in rage and frustration, but they were no match for the power of the amulet. With the rain gone, the survivors were able to escape the forest and make their way back to civilization. They told their story to anyone who would listen, warning them of the danger of the mysterious rain and the creatures that controlled it. Years passed, and the survivors grew old, but they never forgot the terror of the mysterious rain and the power of the ancient amulet that had saved their lives. They knew that they had been lucky, that they had been the only ones to escape the rain's deadly grip. But they also knew that the rain was still out there, waiting for its next victim. They hoped that someone, someday, would find the amulet and use it to stop the rain once and for all. But until then, they would never forget the horror of the mysterious rain and the creatures that controlled it.